said, "Blessed art thou, Simon, son of Jonah. Flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say unto you that you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." The gates of hell cannot prevail against the church. This Antichrist will make war against the saints, the Jews, the 144,000 that are preaching the gospel in those days, making war against them and will overcome them. We do read concerning the two witnesses, or we read back in chapter 11, that the Antichrist, or the beast, puts them to death. After they have finished their testimony, he has power to kill them. Their bodies lie in the streets of Jerusalem for 3 days, and then they are revived to life and ascend into heaven as the whole world watches. And so here he has power to make war against the saints, and he overcomes them, showing that they cannot be the church. "And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world." In heaven there are books. We used to sing, "Is my name written there, in those gates bright and fair? In the book of thy kingdom is my name written there." The Bible talks about our names being written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. But, and we'll get to that as we move on in the book of Revelation, but they that dwell upon the earth are going to worship really the Antichrist and Satan, and it's going to be a horrible time on the earth as people are actually knowingly worshiping the devil. But it's interesting to me that already there are people who are here in the United States and around the world who are devoted to worshiping Satan. And they have their own Bible, and in their own Bible, Satan comes out the victor in the end. And so they've been deceived and are actually knowingly worshiping Satan. "Any man that has an ear, let him hear." We know that this is a phrase that is used over and over again by Jesus as he was addressing the churches back in chapters 2 and 3. After each message to the church, he would say, "He that hath an ear to hear, let him hear." The Lord wants us to understand as best we can. There's things in the book of Revelation we don't understand, but the Lord wants us to understand as best we can the things of the book of Revelation. So, he that hath an ear, let him hear. "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." Again, saints not being the church, but those that are here on earth during this period of time. "Now I beheld another beast." That's the Antichrist. Now we have a second person here, and this one is the false prophet who will arise. The beast arises out of the nation. The false prophet arises out of the earth. He has 2 horns like a lamb, but he speaks like a dragon. Jesus often warned concerning false prophets. In Matthew 7:15, towards the end of the Sermon on the Mount, he said, "Beware of false prophets, which will come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves." Notice he has two horns like a lamb, but he speaks like a dragon. False prophets. In Matthew 24:4, as Jesus is giving signs of his coming and the end of the age, he gives many signs. The rebirth of Israel, the rebuilding of the temple, and he mentions these things only once as the signs of the end of the age. But interestingly enough, he mentions false prophets several times. Matthew 24:4. Jesus answered and said unto them, "Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and they shall deceive many." Verse 11, "And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many." Verse 23, "If any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect." Again, the elect there being the Jews, not the church. And Jesus said, "Now I've told you before it happens." And so this second beast, the false prophet, and his mission is to lead the world to worship the Antichrist. And he exercises all of the power of the Antichrist, the beast before him, and he causes the earth and those that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And so he draws the world to worship this first beast. A false prophet has the signs and the earmarks of a true prophet. That is, he seems to be a man with power and able to manifest that power, as does this false prophet. And the way to discern a false prophet really is the things that he says. With this, he is going to show signs and wonders, but then he's going to encourage the people to worship the Antichrist. And he is going to deceive the world. He does great wonders, verse 13, so that he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. He deceives them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. And so he is really promoting the beast and promoting the worship of the Antichrist by the people. Interesting, the powers that he has to call down fire from heaven. We are reminded of Elijah, who, when they came to arrest him and said, "O man of God, you know, the king has sent us to arrest you," he said, "If I am a man of God, let fire come down and consume you." And fire came down and consumed him. The king sent out another group of men, and again he called down fire from heaven. The third guy was a little smarter. He said, "Hey, I'm a family man. I have kids at home. Have mercy on me. I'm only here doing my duty for the king, and would you mind coming with me?" And so here is the false prophet showing miracles. deceiving the people.